PM places ban on prisoner day releases. Housing Minister says all recent evictions illegal. And man accused of sorcery after startling discovery.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thanks for joining me for Friday's news. Employees of the National Weather Service have gone on a nationwide strike protesting against the Transport Department for failing to address their outstanding grievances. Among them is the salary discrepancy. At the close of business this afternoon, they stopped work.
The aviation and the marine industry will likely be affected following the nationwide strike by employees of the National Weather Service. They told MTV News this afternoon the strike is indefinite until a written agreement is reached between them and the Transport Department. The National Weather Service outlined its strike actions in a statement released yesterday afternoon, which will likely affect both the traveling public and the transportation of goods and services within Papua New Guinea. On 20th December 2017, the National Weather Service put the nationwide strike on hold for 2 weeks after a verbal assurance from the Transport Secretary to fix salary discrepancies considering the safety of the traveling public during the festive period. This was after a discussion with the Public Servants Reconciliation Attribution Tribunal. And yesterday was the deadline, with employees claiming not receiving what they were promised in the first pay period for 2018. The disruption will prolong for an indefinite period until agreed resolutions are sorted out accordingly. Meanwhile, the Transport Department is yet to respond to this strike action. Taklagunga, National EMTV News.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill has banned the all-day temporary release of prisoners by warders from the Correctional Service. The ban is effective following the escape of 6 prisoners on Manus Island over the weekend. And the Prime Minister has demanded a full explanation because he says the community's lives are at risk. He has also instructed the CS Minister to halt day release from prisons around the country until a full review of procedures.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill is extremely concerned on news of prison escapes around the country and says the government will create tougher penalties to penalize escapees and citizens who harbor them. The latest on Manus Island has sparked concerns which the Prime Minister says, and I quote, "The escape of 6 prisoners on their release is intolerable and places communities at risk." Mr. O'Neill says efforts to apprehend them will be stepped up and instructed police and correctional services to increase resources. In the meantime, a ban on all-day temporary release of prisoners is effective to allow the review of existing penalties. The release will only be guaranteed under special circumstances like medical care. The Prime Minister says to consult with the Attorney General and the National Executive Council ahead of the first meeting of Parliament this year. Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
Housing Minister John Cowper says the latest evictions around the country is illegal and the work of crooked officers. Minister Cowper said all this will be investigated by National Housing Corporation. He has urged police to also screen eviction notices and court orders before carrying out evictions on tenants.
Following the recent evictions in Medang, Lae and Port Moresby, the Housing Minister made his first public appearance for 2018 to give the media his feedback. Minister Cowper says only the top management of NHC will authorize evictions after proper procedures are followed.
Any interested party has to put their papers in, offer in, so that from there we sit down and decide which one we can offer, at least lowest price or middle price or whatever that is convenient to the board of National Housing Corporation.
For the evictions at Gordon's Lapwing Drive, Minister Kauper says the foreigner, a Chinese businessman, has breached the higher court order to claim the property. He says the transaction is a fraud and NHC and police will be tasked to investigate those responsible.
So that people concerned must be brought down to, taken into, appropriate authority. So the Proud Squad will be engaged after this press, statement, so that we will try to get the title back, reconnect the title back to National Housing Corporation, because it's all fraud.
Minister Kauper has also urged police and other parties to screen eviction notices before moving tenants out.
Policemen must also cooperate. We must operate between the law of this country. So I'm not happy with that owner of Wen Holding Limited.
Acting Managing Director for National Housing Corporation Kenneth Cook says no other person apart from the top management of NHC will approve evictions.
I support the minister to review this sale, and we need to correct this situation here.
Meanwhile, NHC will be investigating officers who have made public statements without authorization from the management and the minister responsible. Jack Lapava Jr., National EMTV News.
Police in Port Moresby are still waiting for relatives of the woman who was murdered at Gordon's bus stop to lay an official complaint. NCD Metropolitan Superintendent Pero Undrano said while the news on her murder was circulated on social media, police can only conduct an investigation based on a formal complaint.
Police believe the woman was stabbed after an argument with her husband at the Gordon's bus stop. These were some of the photos of the incident, which were circulated and shared on social media.
As for us, the report is willful murder at the bus stop at Gordon's, and that's it. That's the only information we have, and we are yet to identify relatives that can give us more information on that case.
This incident has raised more concerns on the violence against women and girls. But there is no formal complaint registered with police.
Gordon's police are doing their basic investigation. They're still looking for the relatives of the deceased, because when the incident happened then, we have not got in touch, or the relatives of the deceased have not come forward to give us more information.
No suspects have been arrested, and police are asking families of the deceased to report the matter so proper police investigations can begin.
It's deemed that it's unreported to police, even though the media, we all know that it has happened. So as I speak, we have the minor crimes at Gordon's running around trying to establish who the relatives are.
Thakla Gunga, National EMTV News.
2 men accused of practicing sorcery have been forced to move out from their homes after being found to be in possession of suspicious items. The men were found with bones, powdered substances, hair, blood and others. The village court has given them 7 days to leave the community. Police have warned community members not to harass them.
Community members gathered at the Chinatown police station demanding to know what the items found at the residence were used for. There was a container with a powdered substance, hair and blood, ginger and chicken bones amongst other items. These items were found at these 2 men's homes, Alex Yengre and Ivan Artis, who were accused of practicing sorcery. These items were allegedly revealed to a healing ministry.
Something stop I log and Mokamuti camera site. Tamam camera site, Toksai Buruk now get a public community or can look him and feel lifelong again.
Although these items were found, there is still no evidence to prove that they used these items to hurt community members. Village Court Magistrate for Ahi LLG Avi Burua Wanu said the duo have to move out from the area to ensure the safety of the community as well as their own.
Bian in Bailo Blombibla community, na mipla give him all short notice, na mipla give him date, all MOSM 7 days, all move out.
Police have warned community members not to attack the men. This incident follows 2 months after 2 women in the Bumbu area were attacked after being suspected of sorcery. One of them was rescued by police, however, the other was killed. Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News, Leh.
You're at National EMTV News. A secretary is finally appointed to Trade, Commerce and Industry, a rural electrification project in Upper Nibilia, and Telecom continues with their cash draw. Those stories and more after the break. Welcome back. Following a national court decision, Andrew Lilira is now the Secretary for Trade, Commerce and Industry. Lilira's appointment puts to rest disputes over the Secretary's position that has left the department in turmoil over the last few weeks.
A big position.
Following his appointment by NEC late last year, on Wednesday, a national court order was issued to confirm Andrew Lilira as the permanent secretary for the Trade, Commerce and Industry Department.
We now have a permanent secretary to the post of Secretary for Department of Commerce and Industry.
And comes after a tussle over the position of the secretary, which was left vacant since May 2017. This has also contributed to the department not performing over the last 6 months.
I am now calling all public servants, those who work for the Department of Commerce and Industry and its other line agencies, to give the utmost support to the secretary, Mr. Andrew Lilira. I appeal to them that those who have stayed away from the office to return to work on Monday so that we can be able to deliver the agenda of the national government.
Moreover, Lilira's appointment will now kickstart work in the department, and Minister Morris says his first task is to build the department's capacity, which will start by appointing 2 deputy secretaries.
We have been understaffed. We had leaders who had people who have been secretary for department who had no vision to drive government agenda, and as a consequence, Department of Commerce and Industry did not live up to its full responsibilities.
My first thing is to reorganize, realign, and get those senior managements appointed to positions so that we can align ourselves to drive the minister's visions and agendas, as he has already mentioned. So that's the first and foremost thing that I will do.
Meanwhile, the minister thanked the police force for securing the government department when the situation of the position tussle caused unnecessary tension.
I must thank ACP Yasanombi and his men from the various divisions of the police force for a sterling job that they have undertaken.
Stanley Ove Jr., National EMTV News.
Meanwhile, Minister Wera Mori has announced a timeline to see key development projects in the country commence. Projects like the Pacific Marine Industrialization Zone, the Sepik Plains Economic Zone and other projects will be pushed forward to commence operations. Minister Mori says with a permanent departmental head, key development agendas will be implemented.
The specifics of driving projects differ from region to region. We are now promoting the concept of agro-industries, where we will open up, the Baja Valley of Western Highlands Province, linking down to Madang. At the same time, the Sepik Economic Zone, and also the Free Trade Zone that has been mooted for Vanimo and also the Gulf of Papua. This must be a reality. We are going to set the process in place, and given my private sector management and as being a manager of mining projects before I became a member of parliament, that's the way I am going to drive it, and no one will compromise that.
Electricity is expected to power homes of more than 13,000 people of Upper Nebilia in the Tambul Nebilia electorate. The groundbreaking ceremony at Hapwara area is the New Year's gift, which signals the beginning of this high-impact project. Local MP Win Daki officiated at the event.
The people of the Hapwara area, like most places in the rural parts of Papua New Guinea, have never received constant electricity supply since independence. For the first time, they will receive a 17-kilometer electricity project. The project will benefit 5 council wards with a population of roughly 13,000 people in the Upper Nebilia area. Local member Win Daki fulfilled his campaign promise that if he wins the 2017 national election seat for the electorate, he will pull electricity into the area, a much-needed service for these people. The project is worth 3.5 million kina and is funded through the District Services Improvement Program funds. The project will start at the end of this month and will be completed at the end of February. It will not only benefit the locals, but also a Bible college, schools and a sub-health center.
People of faith and believers in Tambul Nebilia want the role model district after 5 years.
The National Capital District Commission has also contributed 50,000 kina in grants to the electricity project. NCDC project officer John Lemon said the commission is supporting this project because a lot of bus and taxi services in Port Moresby are provided by the people of Tambul Nebilia. Vasanata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
50,000 kina has already been given away by Telecom to customers in the weekly cash draw. Today was the 10th draw of 10 lucky winners. Connie Alone, manager of Telecom products, encouraged Telecom customers to recharge with Telecom Prepaid for a chance to win.
Telecom Manager for Products and Business Development, Corny Alon, encouraged Telecom customers to be in it to win it, saying there is up to 50,000 kina left to be won with the Telecom Cash Draw, which today held its 10th draw.
Draw 9 because we had to capture the holiday period as well. So we gave out 10,000 today, 10 lucky winners today who won.
Telecom users recharge with more than 20 kina and go straight into the draw to win 1,000 kina.
In February, so whilst you are on holidays, for those students and for parents and guardians all over the country, this is an opportune time to recharge with at least 20 kina and above, so that you can have an opportunity to win. This 1,000 kina cash will be sent automatically to your nominated bank account. We'll send it by electronic systems.
The draw commenced in October 2017 and will end in February this year. There are 10 more draws left each week and 5 winners are announced.
That means another 50,000 is still outstanding that needs to be drawn.
So far, 3 customers have been drawn twice, lending them 2,000 kina each. Mr. Connie says this is Telecom's way of giving back to their customers. Adelaide Xerox Kari, National, EMTV News.
And now looking at our finance news, the kina closed unchanged at $0.3095 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.302 $0.3799 Australian dollars, $0.246 euro, and 33.68 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, coffee and copra closed higher, while gold and cocoa closed the day lower. Copper closed higher, while palm oil and crude oil closed the day lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 152.45 points higher, the ASX closed at 45.27 points higher, and the All Ordinaries also closed higher at 44.34 points. You're tuned into National EMTV News. Among stories when we come back, Censorship Board warns musicians. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. Koki Market Manager Geelong Alma says they will ensure the ice machine is functioning. This follows requests by vendors after it was unserviceable for almost a year.
Fish out of water is a ticking time bomb till it's no longer consumable. But if it's ice, it slows the process and helps the fishermen get the fish sold and make their profit. Since last year, the ice machine at the Koki Fish Market hasn't been working, and fish and other seafood are sold without ice. We spoke to vendors at the Koki Fish Market who shared the same opinion and also said the ice machine had only worked for 3 months before it stopped. The vendor, speaking off camera, said the market is safe and customers are regular, but the market management needs to bring back the ice and keep the place clean. Market manager Geelong Alma says that since the market opened, they have tried to keep it safe for the vendors.
We have a roster where the 5 come on the night and the other 5 come in the morning. So that's how the market security runs here. Our vendors are from here all over mostly South Electorate and also Central Province, like Motu Koitabu villages and central villages here in Port Moresby alone.
He said they employ locals to clean the market and also work as security.
Staff here from our electorate here, Moresby South, all our cleaners here are local boys. They do all the cleanups and market, they're staff, market staff, as I say, so all of us do it, I should say, yeah. It's all good. We 24/7 all year. But as you can see, the flow is a bit wet. Is when our vendors, come in and they try to ignore the benches and the tables that we provided, but they love to put their, fish on the floor, and that's where the problem comes in. But otherwise, market is always clean, 24/7.
On the issue of the ice machine, Geelong says they will have the machine working as soon as possible.
Ice making machine in there, but got a little bit of faulty, which we are calling other aircon companies to come in and have a look at that, and we can get it on the board again and help our vendors here. At the moment, it's down at the moment, but like I said, it's New Year, so we'll try and work on it and get it on operational again.
Adelaide Siraks Kari National, EMTV News.
The Office of the Censorship has warned musicians in the country to abide by broadcast laws and promote good behavior. This warning was issued following a ban on broadcast materials for one of the local artists, Wildpack. Their music or video has been banned on radio and television. This comes after a video went viral on social media, and we warn you of disturbing image.
Chief Censor Stephen Malla this afternoon released a notice to all broadcasting agencies like radio and television, banning any production work by the local band Wildpack. This ban comes into effect after their video went viral on social media platform Facebook, showing an infight amongst the members. In the statement, the Office of the Censorship maintains integrity and promotes human decency and self-respect. Such unruly behavior will not be tolerated. This video has gone viral on social media, with Club Illusion in Port Moresby banning any music by Wildpack and performances at their club. Meanwhile, Carol Yawing, Ward 2 Councillor in Lay, says there must be maturity in music production.
Dat man hem in paiti mem na lokim do na usa dislol tripla man ol stein selo rumia name blongol na pes nus bloli no height mipla sawe pinis na mipla kam so mipla family lo here lo lay mipla appeal all must come out. All must come out so that justice can take place. Na missing out blomi golong music industry lo totally benim all kind line osem. Suppose all save osem raga making one plus something karangi na disla kind or one issue na melo all all big pla triple man onya pla come down lo level blongem na stretim lo way blo stretim.
The video surfaced 2 weeks ago on social media, with the public calling it disgusting for musicians behaving in that manner. The chief censor says broadcasters have the responsibility to promote good behavior, as most of their audience are young. Adelaide Sirok's Kari National, EMTV News.
A single mother of two has been missing for almost a week now. Roslyn Tabu was last seen on December 29th last year when she left Tubuseria village to come into Port Moresby to buy betel nut for her daily sales. The young woman's family is desperately in search of her and have filed a missing persons report with police.
A young mother of two, Roslyn Tabu, has been missing for a week now. The young woman of 24 years of age is from a mixed parentage of Eastern Britain and Central Province. Roslyn sells betel nut for money for herself and her two children who are below the ages of 5. Roslyn was last seen on Friday, December 29, 2017.
My niece Roslyn left the village on Friday. Prior to New Year, that was last week. Friday she came to 6 Mile Saraga Market to buy betel nut, and after buying betel nut she never went back to the village up till today.
The young woman was last seen wearing a black collar shirt, baggy cut jeans and had sported red hair extensions. Her family described her as around 165 centimeters tall with more Eastern Britain features. According to her family, her daily routine is purchasing betel nut at Saraga Market in 6 Mile to sell back at her home in Tubuseria, Central Province. But after not returning home that same day, the family raised alarms and went to the police for assistance.
So after New Year, we reported the matter to police on Tuesday. So police assisted us, and because of some rumors around the city that there were some killing during the Christmas and New Year, girls from Central. So police assisted us and we went to the morgue at 3 Mile, the public morgue. But we didn't identify any of the girls from Central there. And of course it was not Roslyn. So we did that on Tuesday, Wednesday and yesterday. We checked all the family members within the vicinity of the city. They have all advised us that they've never seen her around.
Roslyn Tabu's family is appealing to the public, if they have seen her, to contact the following numbers on the screen. They have also posted on social media in hopes of assistance from the public. Merlin Daukatam, National, EMTV News.
You're at Friday's News. Up next, we have all your sporting action in Trukai Sports. Stick around for that.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. To cricket, the Hebo PNG Under-19 Garmuts have been grouped with cricketing top-notches India and Australia in the upcoming 2018 ICC Under-19 Cricket World Cup. The tournament will be held in New Zealand from 13th of January to the 3rd of February 2018. This will be the 8th time the Garmuts have qualified for the ICC Under-19 Cricket World Cup. The 15-man squad will be once again led by Paris Vagi Karaho. Most of the players are currently playing in the Port Moresby Cricket Association. You're watching Trukai Sports. We'll have more for you on the other side of this break.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. The absence of franchise clubs from Manus and Oro in this year's National Soccer League competition was the responsibility of each provincial association. This was cleared by PNG FA Senior Vice President John Wesley Gonjuan. Gonjuan further added that PNG FA is hopeful of their inclusion next season and promises a smooth run to the finals for the 7 participating teams.
When we send out the expression of interest, we had interest from Manus, Oro, Gulf, but unfortunately I think they are not prepared. They were focused on the PNG games and time has actually caught up with them. So we're hoping that they will be coming and joining us. Also Eastern Stars also, they won't be taking part this year. They will be focusing on at the next competition. We are preparing well for it and we hope that things will go down well and then we'll be able to conclude the finals in 31st of March.
The NCD Governors' Cup Grand Final match was called off due to heavy rain. A decision was also made because of the interference by crowd during the match. A new date for the Grand Final match between Mountain Bulls and 9 Mile Giants will be on Sunday at the Sir Hubert Murray Stadium.
Project Manager Blongan John Makopista, all by finding one plan location, all by Edward Shivu or Namela Way. So,
and that wraps up Trukai Sports. Up next, we'll have your weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region. A shower or two in Port Moresby, Daru, Kerema and Alotau, and fine weather in Popondetta. In the Momase region, mostly fine in Lae, Wewak and Vanimo, and fine in Medang. In the New Guinea Islands region, fine weather in all centres. And in the Highlands region, brief showers in all centres. Forecast for small ships for the next 24 hours. Forecast for the small crafts within coastal waters of Papua New Guinea for the next 24 hours. Seas of 0.5 to 1.3 meters. Ocean forecast for PNG areas in the Coral Sea. Seas slight with southeast winds at 10 to 15 knots. In the Solomon Sea, seas slight with southeast winds at 10 to 15 knots. In the Bismarck Sea, seas slight with easterly winds at 10 to 15 knots. And in the Pacific Ocean, seas slight with northeast to east winds at 10 to 15 knots.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
And before we go, business activities along the North Coast Road of Medang Province have come to a halt after a one-lane bridge collapsed last night. Access going in and out of Medang town was affected after a heavy truck was trying to cross when it collapsed. Witnesses say the bridge collapsed at around 11 p.m. last night.
Including betel nut sellers and locals have been stranded on both sides of the bridge since 11 o'clock last night.
So me come na me stranded now and me waiting boy blue me by stop long. Mandi na baka mantap. Uy mo sim business blue me bla. Embaram na me bla same time.
Locals are charging commuters 2 kina to cross over by boat and a bag of betel nuts 6 kina per person.
Pasindia blogolo bogi olusim kanu 2 kina lo blaman na 3 kina lo cargo.
This bridge is located between Talidik and Kubukam, a 45-minute drive out of Medang town.
Everybody is travel-free.
Member for Bogia Robert Nanguri says the bridge was built in 1952 and has a lifespan of 50 years. It has gone past its lifespan. The North Coast Road is the economical corridor for Medang province, especially for the people of Bogia, Sumcar, and those who travel from Sipik by boat.
Change long government long. Opimay long government long lugluk na. Works ba mas start him sample walk now long. Start him la bridge. Walking proper bridge, double lane, also more standards long world. Plenty bridge blow you mean long Papua New Guinea stop yet one kind also more before yet. Where you know meet more standards blow world. Where you mean it double lane long or get a half. You know single lane kind of same. So now me opportunity long works department long looks have now na. Area up long start him la bridge blow me blah.
Sumcar MP Chris Nangoy also urged locals to allow commuters and the general public to travel to and fro freely without harassing them.
Like Molman Mary must feel free to move go camp. Me as a community or Man Mary or Len on us. Milaki Molsem he must get good ting one bell person name stop.
The two MPs are also looking at creating a bypass for the time being to allow traffic to return to normal while allowing the reconstruction of the bridge.
So, me one time member blow Sumcar, barata member, me to play kam lo lugluk, look sabe long heavy. Na tok one time works manager blow yumi long Medang, long at least yumi tram paini one bla bypass. I got road stop long backside. Yumi tram tok one time councillors belong local communities. Now all people here, suppose only one bell one time ipla. Long stretching this road blow yumi long Matugar, na come backside, na come up long Banab. So that all people blow yumi, na business can flow.
Meanwhile, police are on site providing security to commuters and the general public. Martha Louise, National EMTV News, Medang.
And now a quick look at our top stories. PM places ban on prisoner day releases. Housing Minister says all recent evictions illegal and men accused of sorcery after startling discovery. And that's the news, sports and weather for Friday the 5th of January 2018. On behalf of the entire news team from around the country, pleasant viewing. Good night.